This video looks at a very important question with regard to monarchy in Scotland. The symbol of royalty in Scotland is the Lion Rampant flag, which you can see here, which was created in 1222. Scotland's got a long history. You can see here the flag of Scotland goes back at least to 832 AD, but it actually was before then. That's the first written record. What of the question of the monarchy? So this video looks at that question. But first of all, I'd like to spend 3 or 4 slides explaining, for those that don't know, the status of the monarchy today, 2025, in Scotland. Its history is long. You can see here that the symbols of Scotland, known as the honours of Scotland, have been around for a long time. Indeed, the crown you see here was made from melted down gold and jewels from the previous crown, which definitely goes back, or did go back, to an etching and a sketch in 1096. So a long royal history. This is the coat of arms of Scotland's people before 1603, when the monarch of Scotland became also the monarch of England. What you see, this is the royal symbol of the crown of Scotland. On the left here, you see the monarch with his crown, with the Scottish symbol, the unicorn, anchored to the ground. Likewise, the people, an exact mirror with the same crown anchored to the ground. The two are responsible to the kingdom, but it is the people that are sovereign, and the monarch rules by the consent of the people, and the people can remove the monarch. So the monarch is the first among equals. And in Scots history, prior to the union with England in 1707, they did in fact censure and remove the monarch, and indeed the parliament sometimes. Nowadays, in 2025, the UK Union lies about the monarchy status in Scotland. It implies that the House of Windsor is the Crown of Scotland, but the House of Windsor is only the monarch of England and Wales, not of Scotland. The myth started in 1603, when Elizabeth I of England, the Virgin Queen, didn't have any offspring and she ruled for a long time. So they asked King James VI of Scotland to be King James I of England. But it wasn't a merger. It wasn't one crown across two kingdoms. It was two sovereign countries, two totally alien and separate constitutions. One based on the people and one based on the monarch and parliament. The myth is, they call this union of the crowns. It was no such thing. In 1707, the Treaty of Union, if you look at who was the king and queen around that time, you'll see that magically some show the monarch started in 1707, but this isn't true. The last monarch of Scotland and England, based on the 1603 treaty, was Anne. She took the Scottish coronation oath and she reigned from 1702 to 1714. Many scholarly books in England imply she started in 1707. The myth continues. In modern times, in my lifetime, which was just after the Second World War ended, The monarchy started to come to Scotland. Elizabeth and Charles and touch the honours of Scotland, the Scottish royal jewels, as if there's some sort of link. There is no link. It's the con. It's the myth. If you want to know more in detail about this, search for my other video, Monarchy, a well-known myth in Scotland, which I created just over a year ago. So, going back to the question, what would be the options in an independent Scotland? One would be to create a republic with an elected president for a fixed term as head of state. The other would be to select a monarch. After what I've said, that Scotland hasn't got a monarch because no one has taken the Scottish coronation oath since Queen Anne in 1702. So if you went with the monarchy, how big is it going to be? Certainly it'll be nothing like the over-the-top situation down in England. So what would its size be? Would it be more like Sweden? In Sweden, the royal family live in a palace paid for by the state, and they get money for every state occasion they go to. Otherwise, they have to fund themselves. The House of Windsor, the English king, is totally different. An independent Scotland would have its own constitution with the rights of these two options bedded within it, whichever one the people in Scotland choose. I'm now going to look at 3 different surveys done about the monarchy support in Scotland. The first is a general one. I asked AI the question. The words are from the computer. They're not my words. So this is what AI says with regards to the question about support for the monarchy in Scotland. Support for the monarchy in Scotland is divided and declining, with recent polls showing a near 50-50 split and a potential majority leaning towards an elected head of state, especially among younger Scots and those identifying as Scottish rather than British, though many older Scots still favour the institution. While the late Queen Elizabeth II held significant personal respect, recent trends in political discourse suggest growing Republican sentiment, with calls for an elected president even in independent Scotland. The key findings for Scottish support with this decision, according to AI, was divided opinion, roughly half and half, according to AI. Younger people are more interested. And it's certainly people that identify as Scottish, not British, that support an elected head of state more than they do a monarchy. From an independent Scotland, support for keeping a monarchy hovers between 40 and 50% at the moment, and it's shifting. Support for the monarchy is declining in Scotland. There's a bigger increase in the sense of Scottish nationhood nowadays. Also in Scotland, it's more leftward policies, whereas England is right. Many Scots view the monarchy as primarily an English institution, and anti-monarchy groups highlight perceived democratic deficits and questions the economic benefits of a monarchy. In March 23, there was a poll run by YouGov of 10,000 people across the whole country asking their views on monarchy. The headline figure for the UK as a whole was that 55% of people supported the monarchy. A distinctive feature of this poll was that the figure in Scotland stood at 45% support, not the 55% for the UK as a whole. When the poll analysed the results by the Westminster constituency seat boundaries, they found that 53 of the top 100 sceptical seats on the monarchy were in Scotland, which is surprising when there's only 59 constituency seats. So 53 of the 59 Westminster seat areas in Scotland were not in favour of the monarchy. There's a pressure group in Scotland called Our Republic. You can see the symbols in these pictures here, protesting against the visit of King Charles recently to touch the honours of Scotland. They did a survey in May 24, and their findings were that 57% of Scots do not want a monarchy. There's been quite a collapse of support since Charles replaced Elizabeth II. And certainly the 60% of the young people below 34, support a head of state, while less than 18% support a continued rule of the Windsor family. And the support against the monarchy goes across every region of Scotland apart from the Scottish borders. So the question is, once we get this, an independent Scotland, will we choose this? That is Charles touching the honours of Scotland, the pretendy thing to keep the Union nice and happy. That's the end of my talk. I hope you found it interesting and make you think about the monarchy. Thank you. Before you go, here are the videos I have made on my YouTube channel, Robert Anderson 9116. In YouTube, if you key in my channel name, all these videos will appear, or you can key in the specific name of the video in the search line within YouTube. These are my next two videos I'm going to create early in 2026. This list here changes all the time. Anyway, thank you for listening. Bye for now.